Okay, so today I'm going to explain division problems using fractions and improper fractions. The first problem we're going to do is a how many groups problem. So our problem says you have 2½ cups of flour. A third of a cup of flour makes 1 cake. How many cakes can you make with 2½ cups of flour? So our problem is going to look like this. We're going to have our mixed number, which is 2½ divided by 1/3, because we have 2½ cups of flour, and we know that it makes 1/3 of a cup of flour makes 1 cake. So we're trying to find out how many cakes we can make with 2½ cups. So this is our problem, which is also the same as saying question mark times 1/3 equals 2½, which I just turned it into an improper fraction, and it's 5/2. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to get our fractions to be the same denominator. So we have 1/3 and 5/2. The common factor between 3 and 2 is 6, so I'm going to make my common denominator 6, and 2 times 3, so we multiply 5 times 3, which is 15. And then 3 times 2 is 6, so we're going to multiply 2 on the numerator, and that gives us 2. Alright, so I'm going to represent this with a picture model. Alright, so I'm going to have my square here, and I'm going to divide it into 6 pieces because that's our same denominator. Go ahead and draw another one over here. Alright, so we divide this into 6 pieces. Alright. 5. Alright, so we need to draw one more because we have 15 pieces. Alright, so what I'm going to do is first I'm going to color in 2/6 of my picture here. So right here is 2/6. And then our next fraction we're going to fill in is 15/6. So I'm going to color in 15 pieces here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, all right? So all the green pieces equal our improper fraction 15/6. So in order to find the answer, we're going to basically interpret our picture. So what we have here is, what we're going to do is count 2 pieces here as 1. We have 1, and then 2, and then 3. We're going to go over here and we'll do 4. We have 5, and 6, and 7 here. But we have 3 pieces left over, so we have 3 out of the 6 left over. And we know that 3 over 6 also equals 1/2. So what we end up with is 7 pieces with a half left over. So now we know that you can make 7½ cakes with 2½ cups of flour. All right? So that was the how many groups problem. Now we're going to move on to the how many in one group problem. Okay, so for this problem, we're going to find out how many in one group problem. So our word problem says 1/3 of a candy bar is equal to 1 serving. How many servings are in 2½ candy bars? So we're going to set this up pretty much the same way we did the how many groups problem. And we're going to say 2½ divided by 1/3. All right? And this is also the same as saying 1/3 times question mark equals 2½ or 5/2. They're the same thing. So what we're going to do is I'm going to use a picture model to represent this. All right? So we have, first we have to find the common denominator. So we have 5/2 and 1/3, and it's going to be the same thing as the previous problem, where our common denominator is 6. This is 15, 3 times 5, and 3 times 2 is 6, so 1 times 2 is 2. And so we're going to draw our picture model like we did with the last problem. And we know to draw at least 3 squares because we have 15 pieces. Right? I'm going to divide these up into 6 pieces because our denominator is 6. All right, so we're going to color in 15 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. All right, so that's our 15 out of 6. And then the last part we're going to is our 2 out of 6. So fill that in here, 1, 2, and that's our 2 out of 6. All right, so what we're going to do now is basically add these pieces up. We're going to find out how much of this candy bar is equal to how many servings are in 2.5 candy bars. So let's go ahead and we'll start this. So we're going to have 2 pieces equals 1 serving. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7. All right, and then we have this little bit left over as well. And we have 1, 2, 3 pieces left over out of the 6 that we sliced it into. So like on the last problem, we know that 3 out of 6 equals 1/2. So we're left with 7 1/2 servings is equal to 2.5 candy bars. So to check this, to see whether or not we have the correct answer, 7.5, we're going to take our problem. 2.5 is also 5 over 2. We're going to write that in proper fraction, and we're going to multiply it by the reciprocal of the second fraction. So 1/3, the reciprocal would be 3 over 1. All right, so when we multiply across, we get 15 over 2. And when we divide 2 into 15, it goes in 7 times. And 2 times 7 is 14, so we subtract 14, and we get 1. So we're going to put that over the 2, and then we get 7.5. So in order to check to see if your picture model, your table model is correct, you just simply multiply by the reciprocal of the second fraction.